So I'm joined now by our gymnastics team, starting with Coach Karen Broderick, and then from left to right, our captains. We have Rose Donovan, Jillian Olbrees, and Lizzie Broderick. First of all, guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So, Coach, I'll start with you. If we were going to dream up the ideal conditions for a season to take place, I certainly don't think this would have been at the top of anybody's dream list. But on the positive side, you did get to have 6 meets. So before we dive into the specifics of those meets, were you worried coming into the season about how significantly COVID would impact you, and how did it sort of impact scheduling and athlete availability for you guys?
I don't know if nervous is the right word, but definitely concerned. I wanted to make sure that safety was on the top of the priority list for the girls. I definitely was happy to hear that we were going to be able to do live meets, because I think that makes a big difference with the outcome of how the kids can enjoy the season a little bit more and have it be as normal for them as possible. As far as the COVID rules and regulation goes, it's hosted in my facility, and we had been able to be open since June 8th. So I had a lot of those protocols in place, so I felt very confident, which was kind of nice to not have to worry about that. So going in, I didn't have to worry about the exact protocols as much. We just, we got these masks for the kids so that they had something uniform to wear as well, and hopefully a memory they can put away, but talk about later on in their life. But definitely a different kind of year as far as, I guess my biggest worry would have been, or was, how many students we had in, or how many gymnasts we had in at the same time. And I didn't want to limit who could be on the team for that reason. So it was that was a little bit challenging, trying to find the right times in the gym to make sure that they can stay spread out as well.
So then give us a little bit of a season recap for the meets that you did have. How'd the season go?
I thought we had an incredible season. Of course, towards the end of the season, as our team score hit one of our all-time highs, it was a little bit of a bummer to not be able to have a postseason, because we definitely had gymnasts that would have moved on to the postseason states, and we possibly would have made sectionals again, which I think we might have. So that was a little bit of a bummer. But I think just the fact that we were able to host a season at all and in person was as much as the situation is, it was as much as positive as it could be as well. We have 3 different teams that we competed against, so we competed against each team twice, and MADS is generally our biggest competition. So we started off one of our first competitions with them. We lost by just a close point or so. And so we were able to turn that around at the end of the season and beat them. And I think that was for these guys, that was one of the highlights of the season for them, to be able to do that. And that was nice. Norton was a very strong team, which we were not. I don't think any of us saw that coming. And but it was nice to have them have a chance to kind of shine as well. So it was a really, really strong season. We had a lot of growth in a very short amount of time. We had a late start to the season than we normally do. I was a little bit concerned at first after their first practice if we were going to be ready, but they, with the guidance of our senior captains, they did a great job getting ready, and I think we had as much fun as we really could have. So
yeah.
That's awesome. So now, captains, turning to you, real quick, just for people at home to get to know you guys a little bit. Do you guys have specific events that you compete in at the meets, or do you guys do everything, or specialties, or just sort of explain how that works for each of you?
So usually I kind of do better on floor and vault. Mm-hmm. Those are my 2 that I enjoy the most and think that I am best at. I've never really been good at beam or bars. It's just never something I've done. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I usually compete floor and vault.
And Jillian?
I am an all-around mostly, but we did have switch-ups this season, so I would either compete just 3 events or do all 4.
Awesome. And
Same with me. I'm usually all-around, but since there's 3 all-around girls, we swapped in and out for a couple meets. Since we had the 6 meets we had to do, I think 4.
4 each.
Yeah, 4 each. The all-arounders. There's 3 of us. So.
Now, as captains, you guys have the obvious responsibility, along with your coach, of being the leaders of the team. How challenging was that this season in particular, with everything else going on in the world? And what are some of the things that you guys could do or say to sort of keep energy and spirits up for the team?
I can take this one.
Go for it.
Normally with captains, like, we're always trying to like get the best out of everyone else, and it was a little hard this season because like you couldn't like high five someone after they did really good on like an event or like hug them, but we still did like encourage the team as much as we could with everything that was going on. And normally team bonding is a big factor of that, with having like everyone be together as a team, and we weren't allowed to do that, like, because obviously, but I feel like in the short amount of time we really did grow close as a team.
Yeah. I did say something about
Yeah.
this. I agree with Jillian. Like, it was really hard not being able to have like pasta dinners or doing anything like that. But I think like the group that we had, like underclassmen and everything, I think that it was easy for all of us to like get along just by being in the gym. Like, even like it was so much better than nothing, that I think we like took advantage of it and really just got close the way we could.
Yeah, and that seems to be the big thing between all the teams that we've talked to is just sort of happy to have some sort of a
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys, as you mentioned, only got to see the 3 different teams. Does that affect your mindset at all? Or again, is it sort of just, hey, we're happy to be competing in these ones that we have?
I mean, I think we would have only seen those 3 teams really anyway.
Yeah.
If we didn't move
We
on.
try to get in a couple more.
Yeah, but since the league for gymnastics is so small, but I feel like we just made the most of it as like we could, and like it was still really fun either way. Like, I feel like it didn't really matter. I mean, obviously it mattered competing against the team, but even if it didn't matter the team, we still had fun competing.
Yeah. Also, I think since the 3 teams like that we've went against them in the past, and like I remember for me, like even some of the girls on the other teams, like I recognized and I knew from like years prior, and so that was kind of like that. I mean, that would have happened anyway, but it was like it was fun to see like people that we've been against for 4 years and like see how they've improved, or like especially Norton, like it was nice to see the same teams.
Now, going into it, one of the biggest changes among many was, as you mentioned, not having a sectional tournament. Does that affect your mindset at all going into the season? Did you have a moment where you're like, I mean, what are we competing for? Or is it sort of just, again, happy to be out there and doing it? I'll let any of you guys take that.
So at the beginning of the season, it was still kind of up in the air if they were going to do it or not. But towards the end of the season, when we found out that it wasn't happening, I mean, you kind of think that for a quick second, like, oh, like, we only have like 2 more meets left, like, what's the point? But really, this is our last year, and like, even competing at all was a really like fun thing to do, and because we never knew that anything was definitely set in stone to happen, and still getting the opportunity to compete like for Norwood and doing it again was like overcame the other feeling. And definitely at my last meet, I was like, why did I think that, like, because it was my last time ever, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they definitely made the most of the season. I think there's a certain appreciation that came with the season, and you can just tell by their you can't see underneath these masks, but their expressions. I think everyone, and I can probably speak for other sports, were just so grateful, so happy. And yes, it's a bummer, and yes, we coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I think that this is just a testament to like, okay, like this is life. Stuff like this happens, and let's make the most of it. These guys were incredible leaders in such a time that we had no idea what's going on, and so I mean that's what I got out of the season is like, hey, we're gonna make they made the most of it.
Yeah, and so you sort of segued nicely into my next question, was just sort of, I mean, like you said, I can tell just sitting here, it seems like a very positive group of captains. And do you see that, or did you see that affecting the attitude of the entire team? Just talk a little bit about your captains, I guess.
Yes, well, so of course I love my captains. And we also had 3 other seniors as well that definitely played a part in this. It was a very challenging time to keep motivation, even though it was a short season. They still have to be motivated. We, as a coach, and also the owner of the facility, with a lot of the restrictions that I had and my worry of how many kids I can have in at the same time, it was nice to be able to say, okay, they're going to lead this group over here, and I was able to do that with full confidence in these girls. I think the lack of having the pasta dinners and the meals together, and we do a fun, my assistant Christine does organize a scavenger hunt, which they love, and I promise to do it when we can, type of thing. But I think having these guys in the gym to motivate as much as they could, and with whether it's music or just being there, and you can see how the personalities of the girls come out, and we had a really new group of freshman girls that came in, and they were really, it was very refreshing for Christine and I to see their work ethic, and I know it has a lot to do with our seniors and our captains, with their leadership, and normally our underclassmen will come in and they just don't blend into the team as nicely or as quickly, and they fit in great. I feel like it's definitely is a testament to their leadership. So I do thank you guys for that, because we had a lot that we had to deal with, but I didn't have to worry about that end, and that was super. That was great.
That's awesome. So now the 3 of you ending this sort of on a positive note here, going out as seniors. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Pick a highlight. It can be either from this season or looking back at any time in the last 4 years, whether it's a specific meet or just event with the entire team. Does any one moment sort of stick out for you?
I think a highlight for me was probably this year. It was after the senior meet. I think we won that meet, right? Yeah. So we had just won, and we were all taking pictures, and it was just really fun, and I think I got a picture with everyone on the team, and it's great to look at those. Even now, it was last month, but it's so good to see a lot of new friendships I've made, and even the same ones I've had. But I'm really happy after that meet to get all those pictures and everything.
That's awesome.
Probably this season, yeah, because it was right, high school career was ending. I'd say last meet was against Norton away, and our last event was beam, and I'd fallen a couple times in warm-ups, and I was I don't know how this is gonna go, but I ended up sticking my routine and getting a 9, which is pretty good on beam, because I haven't gotten a 9 on beam in a while.
Very good on beam.
And I was wow, I got a 9. I was really surprised.
So awesome. Lizzie?
I'm going to go to the senior meet as well. I mean, it was sad, but it was also very positive at the same time. I think that was that our best meet of the season?
Yeah.
It was just so happy and fun. It was just the whole team got to go, and it was just that was probably my favorite meet of my whole high school career.
Yeah.
Amazing. Gave them 4 years to choose from, and they choose the pandemic year. Just shows you the positivity though.
Yes.
So, thank you guys all again for being here, and congratulations on an awesome season. I'm sure it's not how any of you drew it up, but just amazing what everyone was able to do during all this, and the positive attitudes are clearly reflected in this entire group.
I do want to add that
yes.
Elizabeth and Jilly will be representing Massachusetts at the National High School Competition in May.
Oh, that's awesome.
They were selected as well, so that's just, I didn't know if you guys were going to throw that out as.
I was going to say that for my favorite moment from high school.
Not many people know it yet because it just happened,
Yeah.
but
And where's that?
it's going to be it's in Fort Myers, Florida.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's still very up
It's
in
in
the air,
May, so
too.
we'll see.
Well, so you know what that just did is that just scored you guys another invite to come back here and give us an update on at the end of the
Yeah.
season. So you got to come on camera one more time.
Sounds good.
Perfect.